Namaste. Welcome to this lecture on training your mind to think positive. Now, before we start, the first thing I'd like to do is thank the Institute for Inner Studies for welcoming me on to do this lecture for you all. And also, I would like to also thank my teacher, Master Chokuksui, Sui, for all the teachings, all the blessings, and all the knowledge that he instilled in me, and for everything he's always ever done and still does for me. Okay, so let's start with the lecture. So train the mind to think positive. Now, to do this, the first thing that we have to do, or one thing we have to understand, is about oneself. Now, over my extensive study and research into the mind through psychology and pranic psychotherapy and all the things that I've ever done over the 20 plus years, one of the things I always wanted to understand is, why do we think the way we do? Why do we behave in certain patterns and certain ways? Why do people behave, even if they're very close, behave so differently to each other, even brother and sister and so on? So I wanted to get into the bottom of how we work, how we operate. And maybe some of you have always felt that way as well. You know, there's always an answer to a question. It's finding where it comes from. So we're going to help you first of all with this. So if we look at psychology, came from the Greeks, the word, and known as study of the soul. Now later in modern psychology, now it's known as study of the mind. Now those two questions then, who is correct, the Greeks or modern day psychology? So a little bit later on, we're going to help you to understand who possibly is correct. That's the first thing, okay? So psychology. Now then, if we look at this, then and just say your mind is as clever as you want it to be. It's a simple question. Your imagination then, okay, is a tool then that creates your life, positively or negatively. So repeated thoughts, positively or negatively, the words come from your thoughts, your actions come from your words. So it then, what you radiate, you then attract. So the seed of thought through your imagination is more powerful than you can possibly imagine. Imagination. So your imagination is extremely, extremely powerful. But if it's repeated and repeated, it creates your life, not only inwardly, but also outwardly. So that's the worst thing. Now, the key to this then, or the key to having a positive thoughts going through you all the time, and radiating and creating these seeds, if you like, is created through awareness. Awareness is so important, because if you're not aware, you're not able to then transform yourself. That's why some people watch other people doing certain things and they remind them of it and even tell them, and the person says, well, really, I didn't know that I was actually doing that. Because a lot of the time you're not aware, is because our mind creates thousands and thousands of thoughts every single day. And our awareness of oneself is around 30, maybe 40%. It's a very small amount in comparison with the library that your mind and your imagination is creating. So think of that. We're not totally in control of the mind's processes. So an easy option or an easy understanding of this is, you think to yourself, well, I want to do this, but you don't get it done. You procrastinate. Why? Or you watch yourself doing certain things every day, but you don't change it. You don't change the pattern. You keep doing the same thing. You say, I must stop doing that. I must change it. But you keep doing it. And this is why. It's because we're not fully in control of the mind's processing and what it creates, and the imagination and what it creates every day. So there's tools and mechanisms to start to function for you, which we're going to help you with, so that you can actually start producing the right positive thoughts on a continuous basis overall. Okay, so awareness is one thing, okay, to be able to transform. So it's a type of reflection. Like Master Cho always said, inner reflection, without inner reflection, okay, there can be no awareness. Without no awareness, there can be no transformation. So we have to take the inner reflection or reflection process, first of all, to understand oneself. So this then creates what's called accurate perception. And then from this, correct expression can be created. So accurate perception, a high degree of self-honesty is very important to look at this, okay? Now, this is the thing through the pandemic of what we've been actually going through, is that during this period, obviously a lot of people are not being able to go out, they've been trapped with their families, they've been contained within themselves. And so a lot of people are having to self-reflect, go in, look at themselves, which most people on the main don't do because we're busy working, we're busy socializing, hobbies, doing things. So very rarely we get to the point where we just sit, look at what we need to do or what's going on in our lives, but really reflect. And a lot of times people don't do this anyway, is because they don't have the tools to fix it. So they're always running, they're always doing, we've got a very busy life normally, we can't stop. Okay, so it is about inner reflection to be able to see these things and a high degree of self-honesty to be able to change them, okay? Okay, so what we're going to do first is go through what's called the needs, basic needs of us as humans. Now, just a little bit of history. In 1943, a man called Maslow created the hierarchy of needs. From that model, if you like, so many models then were created and developed then over time. And one of them, which what we're going to go through tonight, is what's called the human needs, okay? So the humans givens needs. Now, from the human givens, many, many models again increased again. But there's 9 basic needs that we all have to do. Now, if a certain amount of those aren't fulfilled, then it causes multiple problems and even unhappiness. Obviously, if you're unhappy, you're not going to be creating positive thoughts. You're going to be creating a lot of negatives, so it's going to impact your problems. So at least 4 to 5 of these needs, if they don't get met in certain areas, you're going to have issues and problems. And this is why so many people across the world have been suffering because of this pandemic, is because 4, 5, 6, even 7, maybe 9, if you're very unlucky, nearly all of those needs aren't being met for a certain people. And so people are getting very down, very stressed, very low. Some people are even getting very depressed. And this is why. So awareness is one thing of which we're going to help you, first of all, with these needs, okay? So what I want you to do is get a piece of paper, okay? And what I want you to do is write down what you need to do. So in this column in here is the first, is just write down the need, draw a line through, okay? Then put in the middle, now, what you're doing now. And then on this side, it's 1 year from now, okay? Go through again, so the needs, now, and 1 year from now. Okay, so that's what you need is your piece of paper, first of all, okay? Now, I'll give you a few seconds to write that down. So again, need in one on the left-hand side, okay? Now, where you are now, and 1 year from now, okay? Now, what's the point, or what's the process? Now, one is, by putting pen to paper, you're helping things to come forward, a bit of realization, okay, like I said, awareness. So that's one thing. So you're writing down what these needs are as we go through. Now then I want you to look at, okay, how do I feel now? Or with that need, what's going on in my life now? Okay? Then like anyone or anything, we need objectives, we need targets, we need something to move to. If we don't have that, we don't go anywhere, we just float. Like a company needs yearly targets, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. So we all need something to look to as a target to move towards. It's very essential. Okay? So that's why we're going to go through the needs, how and what's going on in your life now. How do you feel? And where would you like to be in 1 year from now? That's the most important. Okay? Where you are now, 1 year from now. Okay, just giving you a good understanding. Okay, hopefully you're all ready. So the first one is what's called security. So that's the first one, security. So write that need down, security. Okay, so security is mainly financial. It's your job, it's your career. Okay, so your income as well. What sort of job have you got? Okay, now it can be relationship as well. And a safe environment. Now, if you think now, in the pandemic of what's been going on, are you in a safe environment? Do you feel safe? Do you feel secure? Some people are very feeling unsafe at the moment about going out or doing something. Some people just can't wait to get out. So we're all different again, but it depends how you feel. It's about how you feel at the moment. So financial, where you are now. Do you have a job? Would you like a new job? Okay, so think about that, write that down, where you are now or what your income is now. Your relationship, where you are now. Okay. Environment, are you in a good, safe environment, or would you like it to get better? Okay, so that's that. Now, then what I want you to do is, where would you like to be 1 year from now? So write that down. I know with your job, you might want to be, earning twice as much. You may want a new career in 1 year time. Now don't think, oh, well, I'd love to, but I'm not capable. Don't think that way. Just where would you like to be? Now, obviously, we can't, have the moon. You've got to be realistic. Okay. So, but, maybe you're on, 30,000, 40,000, whatever currency you have, and you want to double it. Who knows? Okay, and more. Always put in more. Okay. Okay, so 1 year from now. Okay, got that? So the next one is then privacy or privacy. So it's straightforward. People need privacy or privacy in their life. Now, during this period of time, some people are getting too much. They may live on their own. They've had too much, they're not getting out and doing things. So it's a balance. Everything is in moderation. So if you feel that you're cooped up at home all the time with all of your family, you can't go anywhere and just be on your own for a short while, then write that down where you are now. Privacy, too much or not enough at the moment. Okay, just write that down under privacy. Then again, where would you like to be 1 year from now? Write that down. Would you like to have just the balance of privacy? Would you like to be able to do your work, but get to make sure that you have enough me time in that week? Balance yourself out. Have an hour here once a week or twice a week or every day, an hour to yourself or 2 hours, whatever you wish. So write that down. Okay? Where would you like to be 1 year from now? So the third one then is wider connection. Write that down. Wider connection. Now, wider connection means family, friends, even community, a wider connection. So, again, during the pandemic, have you been having all these issues or problems where you can't get out, you can't see your family, you can't see more of the environment with people, as an average, so you're having these problems? So write that down where you are now, okay? Now, a lot of the times with wider connection as well, a lot of people say, they like to work for charities or be more charitable, especially at this time. But a wider connections, because a lot of people are told, if they in psychology, if they've got a problem with this wider connection with family and friends, they should always do charitable things, because a lot of time it fulfills your heart and makes you feel very, very different when you do so. So sometimes it's a very good thing to do. So where would you like to be 1 year from now? Would you like to be helping a wider community? Would you like to be helping charities to do more? Okay, write that down. Better, bigger friendships, maybe. Okay, friendships, relationships. Write that down. 1 year from now. Okay, ready? So the next one is competence and achievements. I say again, competence and achievements. Okay, that's number 4. Now, with competence and achievements, it's goal setting. Something that you excel at, something you're really good at. Again, some people get this from their work. And at the moment, the way we've been in this environment, the pandemic, maybe some of you haven't been able to excel yourself. It's something you really like to do in targets, objectives, excelling what you do. So the same thing again. Write this down. Where are you now? You find you can't excel in what you do at the moment. Now, where would you like to be in 1 year from now? Would you like to be excelling in your life in certain areas? Okay, achieving targets, achieving goals, many, many things. What would you like to be doing? Okay, write that down. 1 year from now. Now, number 5 then is known as control. So control. Now, most of you, just simple question, would you like to have control in your life? The answer is always yes. But at the moment, most governments around the world, they're having to take control of your life. So you're out of control. You can't move or do things or go anywhere you wish, or, just relax and do anything. So you're losing control, and that's why a lot of people, even with this one need, are suffering tremendously because they don't have control in their life. So where are you now with your control? Where would you like to be in 1 year? Would you like to have full control of your life in all areas? Write that down, okay? Okay, so the next one is giving and receiving attention. That's the next need. Giving and receiving attention. Okay, now this is a lot of the time now, particularly if you're involved with someone and you're at home, a lot of the time now a lot of people look at their weaknesses. They really focus on people's weaknesses because it's a mindset, main behavior that a lot of us do. So be looking at their weaknesses, looking at the things they don't do rather than the things that they do, and you'll be giving it more energy all the time, and that's what causes a lot of arguments and dysfunctional families at the moment. A lot of these problems, the fight goes on. So giving and receiving is also part of karma. Okay, now if you think of this, in giving you will receive. Maybe you've heard this before. In giving you will receive. In psychology, they say this is a very big part of relationships, giving, receiving. Okay, so if you're taking all the time, it's like you're inhaling all the time. So you must give. In other words, you must breathe out to inhale. So it's part of the laws of karma. It's very important. If you want something in your life, you have to give it first. If you want love, give love first. If you want prosperity, abundance, be charitable, help other people. Giving, you will receive. It's very, very important. So this is a very big part of the teachings of institute of inner studies to really understand the laws of karma. And the laws of karma aren't fatalistic, they're futuristic. So by understanding these laws, in giving, you will receive in abundance. And this is the way to look at life. Same as a relationship, same with anything around you. So where are you now? Write that down. And where would you like to be in a year's time? This one is a big one to do with your luck. Luck can change in giving. Okay? Where would you like to be in 1 year from now? Would you like to be more of a giving person? Would you like to feel that you want to change your life and help other people and provide and do more for others? Okay? Now, the next one is status. 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 Write that down, that's a need. Okay? Now, a lot of people get, again, status again from their work environment or their life in general to get this status. You find that a lot of men, for instance, have high status, for instance, and they seem to struggle when they retire because they lose that status. So a lot of men, when they retire, they have a lot of issue with this. This is one of the processes. Now, on the other side, a lot of ladies or stay-at-home mums or stay-at-home dads, they also lose their status. Maybe they had a job or career before, and then they become a mum or a dad, that stays at home and looks after the children while their partner goes out to work. Now, this can also cause status problems. But, all of you that have done this before, being a mum or stay-at-home dad to do this, it's a very hard job. It's one of the hardest jobs going. So status is a big thing that certain people struggle with just because of their environment that they're in at that time. So write that down, where you are at the moment with your status. And then where would you like to be in 1 year from now? How would you like to change that? Okay. Now, number 8. Okay, so hopefully you've done that. Where you are now, where do you want to be in 1 year with your status? Okay. So number 8 is intimate relationships. Okay, that's your need. Write that down. Intimate relationships. Now, intimate relationships, this is all then not necessarily, not only a close relationship with someone, being intimate, cuddles, kisses, and all the rest of it. It's also to do with intimacy where you can share secrets or share things with another person that you can trust. You want to express yourself. You want to be able to tell someone something that not only can tell them in confidence. This is also a very, very important need. So intimate relationship. So where are you now with this? Are you in one, or do you have some people around you? And where would you like to be a year from now with this? Okay, got that? Okay. Number 9, the last need here, is need to be stretched. Okay, that's the need. Need to be stretched. Now, what does this mean? Need to be stretched means something greater than us. We always need something to sort of look up to. This comes sometimes through our culture, our religion. Okay, that there is something spiritual side of things, spiritual life. There must be something greater than ourselves. So this is why at the moment, particularly as well, that in this modern age, a lot of people sometimes are questioning their culture or their faith or their religion. Okay, they want to know more depth to this. It's not being blindly taught into something. They want to know more. We can't help the mind from doing this. We're always creating new things, looking deeper into life. Science is constantly moving, constantly changing. So that's why some people are questioning it. So knowing something beyond oneself. So a lot of people struggle with this, but there's a saying that spirituality unites, sometimes religion divides. So spiritual truths, the deeper levels of truth people are looking for, it's obtainable. So where are you now with this need to be stretched? Where are you now? Where would you like to be in 1 year from now? Would you like to know more inner teachings, more truths of life? That's a good answer. 1 year from now. More knowledge, more wisdom. Okay, now number 10 is not actually a need, but it helps for the needs to be met. Now this is called observing self. Observing self. Now this is like an innate guidance system, if you like. That's what it's called, the innate guidance system. Okay, now with this now is that understanding this is where the break in psychology comes. Because some psychologists, they say, how do you know your future before you walk it or do it? How do you have intuition? Okay, so you know that you should do this, and if you do it, it turns out right. How did you know before it started? Because the mind is only like a program looking at things as scenarios or outcomes contained from your past life, your past conditioning of this life, your past, not where you are now and not your future. Because that's what it's doing. It has you on edge. That's what creates stress, anxieties, even depression, because it's calculating thoughts, imagination, this process of the outcomes and many different outcomes to a scenario. So it builds tension, stress, even anger sometimes. Okay? So how do you know something in your future before you do it? That's one way of looking at it. How does a person know that they want to be a doctor, a nurse, a scientist, an engineer, a dentist, wherever they are? How do they know? Now, some psychologists say, well, it's programmed into the DNA. Well, if it was programmed into the DNA, your parents do this and you go off and do this, completely something different. So, it's not exact science. Now, where this comes in, a lot of psychologists will then say it's esoteric or mystical, unknown. Okay? So this is why, because psychology reached the ceiling because they only work to the mind. So the Greeks said it's the study of the soul. So the soul is giving you that intuition, that decision. The soul, if you like, above you and within you, has made an investment into your life. So it's like a business person looking down to that investment and trying to say, look, don't do this, go and do this. Don't do that, go and do this. So it wants you to prove, it wants you to help, it wants to help you to evolve and to learn and to grow and do the right things. So that's what it comes from. It's the study of the soul is the most important thing. Okay, so observing self. Now, where are you now? Write that down. In other words, did you used to be more intuitional than yourself? Did you have more intuition when you were younger than where you are now? Do you feel that it's diminished more? Would you like more in a year from now? Ask yourself that question. Okay, write that down. Where are you now? Where do you want to be in 1 year from now? Okay. Now, if these needs aren't met, all of those main 9 needs, then a condition will follow, okay, or an issue or something will arrive over time. Now, because your mind, as I said a little bit earlier, if these needs aren't met, your mind starts calculating outcomes. Now, when it creates and calculates these outcomes, which are many of, and if there are more than 3 or 4 of those needs aren't met, at least your mind's calculating and creating many, many scenarios of each need. So that's what causes stress, tension, anxieties, and so on. That's why your mind is going, you can't sleep at night. It's calculating, because you're not happy. And when you're into that position, you can't think positive or create positivity because your mind's calculating too many of these needs that aren't being met. Hopefully this makes sense. This is what anxiety is, the core of anxiety. Over an amount of creative thoughts. Okay? So, now, just to say, now, I'm not down on anyone, just giving you this as it is, just being honest and just speaking the truth. Some psychologists then keep you in that rounds of trying to find your needs all the time, asking the questions, is to bring it forward in the process of your mind to try and make sense of the problems. But if you keep thinking negatives all the time, that's the seed you plant, that's what you harvest, that's what you create. Some psychologists are really good, they take you through the process of these negatives to find where you are, but then feed you into the positives to bring the positive seeds forward as such to overpower these things. But wouldn't it be good if you could take these things out? So this is what we're going to give you, we're going to help you with. Now, just to give you a good understanding around what I've just said and make it simple, is that if you have a garden and you have a seed, like a seed of a negative thought, and we class that as a weed, and you have a seed of a positive, which we would class as a flower. Okay, so weed and a flower. Now you plant them into the ground and you pour fertilizer on. Now, which always grows quicker, the weed or the flower? The weed, yes? So the weed will encompass the ground where the seed of the flowers are, and not much will come out of it. So the part of this process or psychology is that you need to weed your garden. The weed of your negative thoughts, if you weed them out, then you can create the positive seeds and they will grow. And the more and more you do this, the more the positivity will be to come into your system and you'll have more of a positive life. So this is why I said earlier, self-honesty is one big part of this, and looking at what's going on in your life and able to transform it. But you must weed the garden, okay? So this is what we're going to do. Now, the next part, underneath those needs, I want you to put health, your health, okay? Now, this comes down to health is in physical or psychological, okay? Now, health, a lot of the time, comes under certain needs. One is, under health, you put security is one. Security. Then competence and achievements is the other one. Comp and achievements. Competence and achievements. And also need to be stretched. Okay, these are the three prominent ones. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is look in where you are now under security, competence, achievements, and need to be stretched. Those three. Okay. Now, what's the most prominent thing that comes out at you at this moment? Write that down under your health. What's the most prominent? How does it make you feel? Does it make you feel stressed, anxious, nervous? Give you a bit of stomach problems? Is it causing physical problems to you? Headaches, migraines, problems like that. Is it causing you issues? Okay? Really write it down under your health. So that's the negative. Now, under these three, as I said to you earlier, then you have to then say, where do you want to be in 1 year from now? Yes? Under the three, security, competence, achievements need to be stretched 1 year from now. Now, the most prominent one out of those three, okay, the positive, write that next to it. So as you've got your negative, okay, the most prominent under your health, anxiety, stress, physical problem. Then you've got 1 year from now, where do you want to be with your health? Okay, write that down. Okay, you've got it, hopefully. Okay. Now, what we're doing now is bringing those needs down to simplify them And what we're doing, we're simplifying them under your health, relationships, finance, and what's called spirituality. Okay, so 4 things, narrowing it down. Okay, so but let's just concentrate on health first of all. Now, how then do you weed your garden? It's simple. What you do is you imagine, I'll do this first and show you. You imagine, first of all, a white board. Now, this is part of pranic psychotherapy. This is to help you to get rid of these things. And so you imagine drawing a white board in front of you, and then that negative you wrote down, you imagine throwing it up onto the whiteboard, and as if you're looking at it, you can actually see the word, or whatever it is, a picture, whatever it may be that helps you in your mind to put on that whiteboard. So once you look at it, you see it, and you cross your arms like this, and you imagine cut, cut, cut. You cut yourself off from it. Then what you've got is a series of chakras in the body, which you learn in pranic healing, and the top one is the crown. Now with this, now you imagine the crown, brilliant light out of your hands, and you imagine rubbing the word out, or the negative out that you've wrote down, and then from the bottom up, rub the whiteboard out completely. Then you open your palms. You can ask the Supreme God, if you like, to more power, like putting fertilizer on your positive. So you say to the Supreme God, please bless me that only this, whatever that positive thought that you've wrote down, be manifested now. And you say, so be it. That's like putting a stamp of approval on it. Okay? Got that? Now, then you do this 3 to 5 times each, every single day. Okay? So you constantly weed out the negative, and you are creating the positive and putting the stamp on it. That's put fertilizer on the positive. Okay? Under your health. I hope you've got this. Okay? So let's do it. Okay? You ready? So you're negative, whatever that means. First thing, ready? Do it all together. Draw a whiteboard in front of you. Now, whatever that negative that you wrote down, imagine throwing it onto the whiteboard. Okay, you're looking at the whiteboard, you see it on there. Okay, now cut, cut, cut. Tap your crown, imagine a brilliant light, rub out the word on that board, completely rub it out. Now from the bottom up, rub the entire whiteboard out. Open your palms and say to the Supreme God, please bless me that this positive thought of whatever you've written down will manifest now. And say, so be it. Okay, that's one. Let's do it again. Whiteboard. Throw that negative onto the whiteboard. Imagine looking at it. Cut, cut, cut. Tap your crown. Brilliant light coming out of your hands. Rub out the word as if you're rubbing it completely off the board first of all. Now from the bottom up, rub the board completely out. Now open your palms and say to the Supreme God, please bless me that this positive thought of, whatever it is, manifest now. So be it. Okay, again, one more time. Whiteboard, whatever that negative is, throw it up onto the whiteboard. Look at it. Cut, cut, cut. Tap your crown. Brilliant light. Rub out that word completely off the board. Now from the bottom up, rub it out. Okay? That's 3 times. Now that you've wrote it down, you do this 3 to 5 times every single day on that negative and the positive. And you keep going, keep going. One, your stresses, your strains, a lot of things will start to come down, and you'll start to think positive around your emotional and your physical health. Things will start to change. Okay? It sounds so simple, but a lot of things are very simple. Okay? It really works. You just got to do it. Okay, now the next one. The next one is your relationships. Okay, so relationships. Write that down. Now, the needs under relationships is security, privacy, wider connection, need to be stretched. Okay, I'll say it again. Security, privacy, wider connection, need to be stretched. Okay, they're the main needs. Okay, now under your needs, again, now what I want you to do is look at those needs. What's the one that really stands out under those needs? What's the main one that reflects to your relationships? Relationships, not just with a close one, relationships in general. What's the big one that comes out? Okay, now whatever one comes out, write it down under relationship. So that's your negative. Okay, now under those needs, again, security, privacy, wider connection need to be stretched. What's the most prominent one in relationships that you want to succeed with in 1 year from now? What's the most prominent you look at? Okay, you see it? Just one. Don't take too long. Really one that's really prominent for relationships. Now write down that positive next to it. That's the first thing. Okay? Got that? Done. Right, now, the next thing I want you to do, if you're in a close relationship, the first thing I want you to do is to write down three good things about your partner or the relationship or a close relationship you're in. Okay? 3 positives. I'm sure you got a lot of negatives ones, but we're not going to go there. 3 positive. Particularly in this pandemic, a lot of people have got the microscope out, looking at all the negatives in people, far too deep. And the more you think negative, your words will become negative, your actions will be so. And of course, then you're having a big fight at home and fighting everywhere because you're focusing on those negatives. You're empowering them, you're putting fertilizer on them. Okay? So let's do the opposite. 3 positives. Okay, you got 3 positives. Now, with those 3 positives, what you do is you imagine the person in front of you and you praise them. You don't have to go up to them and tell them. You can do it all in your head. You praise the person for a positive thing they do. Just one, you say, whatever that positive is, I don't know, maybe they're good at their job, maybe they're a good mum, good dad, good at DIY, whatever they are, okay? Whatever it may be. Say, right, okay, that good thing within you is so good, may it get better and better each day. So be it. Okay? And you must keep doing that and keep blessing. Then all 3 of those positives put in and keep doing them every day under relationships. Okay? It will improve things not only for the person you're looking at, but improve that process within you. Okay? Helps to keep you more positive. All these are very important. Okay? So you bless the person, you say, may that be so good for what you do and may it get better and better each day. So be it. You can use your own words, but that's good enough, okay? So you're good at that, whatever you do, and may it get better and better each day. So be it. Okay, done? Okay. Right, the next thing is we got to do the whiteboard around the relationships, okay? So you've got your negative down, yes, underneath those needs that you had, yeah? Okay, so we're going to put that negative on the board, get rid of it, and create the positive and give it a lot of power. Okay, ready? So on the whiteboard, draw the whiteboard, under relationships, whatever that negative is, throw onto the whiteboard. Imagine looking at it, seeing it, okay? Now cut yourself off from it. Cut, cut, cut. Tap your crown, loads of brilliant white light. Now rub out whatever that negative is on the board completely. Now from the bottom up, rub the whiteboard out completely. Now open your palms and say, to the Supreme God, please bless me that this positive thought of, whatever it is, will manifest now. So be it. Done. Let's do it again. Whiteboard. Throw the negative, whatever it is, up onto the whiteboard. Look at it. Cut, cut, cut. Tap your crown. Rub out, erase off the board completely. Now from the bottom up, rub the whiteboard out. Open your palms and say, to the Supreme God, please bless me that this positive thought of brand new relationships manifest now. So be it. Okay, that's two. Let's do one more. Whiteboard. Throw that negative, whatever it is, up onto the whiteboard. Look at it. Now cut, cut, cut. Tap your crown. Rub out the word or whatever it is that you put on the board, the negative. Now from the bottom up, rub the whiteboard completely out as if you're disintegrating it away. Open your palms and say, to the Supreme God, please bless me that this positive thought of, whatever it is, manifest now. So be it. Okay, good. Done. So that's your relationships. Now again, same as the one on health, you do this every day, 3 to 5, every single day. And don't forget the 3 positives that you bless the person with. Okay, that's that. Right, the next one, finances. Okay, we're nearly there. So finances. With finances, the needs are security, privacy, wider connection, achievements, okay, competence and achievements, yes, okay, control, and need to be stretched. Like control is a big one. So if you think, if you had good financial wealth, you take a lot more control of your life. You have freedom to pursue what's necessary, what you want to do, okay? So finances, okay? So again, the needs are security, privacy, wider connection, competence and achievements, control, and need to be stretched. Okay, all of them. Now, look at those needs that you had written down. Now, under your finances, what's the big one that comes out at you? What's the biggest one out of them that's in line with your finances? Which one? Okay, got it? Write that down under your finances. Now, under those needs again, what's the most prominent one, do you feel, around finances that you want to manifest within 1 year? Okay, write that down underneath finances. So now you've got your negative and you've got your positive. Okay, got it? Ready? Whiteboard. Okay, so draw the whiteboard. Throw the negative around your finances up onto the whiteboard. Okay, got it? Cut, cut, cut. Tap your crown. Rub out, first of all, the word or whatever it is on the whiteboard. Now from the bottom up, rub the whiteboard completely out. Okay, now open your palms and say, to the Supreme God, please bless me that the positive around finances will be manifested now. And then say, so be it. Okay, again, whiteboard. Throw the negative and the finances up onto the whiteboard. Imagine looking at it. Cut, cut, cut. Okay, tap your crown. Rub out whatever it is that on the finances off the board. First of all, as if they completely disintegrate it. Now rub the whiteboard completely out. Now open your palms and say, to the Supreme God, Please bless me that this positive thought around my finances manifest now. So be it. Okay, done. Again, whiteboard. Throw the negative onto the whiteboard. Look at it. Cut, cut, cut. Tap your crown. Brilliant light. Rub out the word, whatever it is, on the whiteboard. Now from the bottom up, rub the board out completely. Okay? Open your palms and say to the Supreme God, please bless me that the positive thought of my finances manifests now. So be it. Okay. Okay, so same thing again. Every day you just keep doing this. You simplified it under your finances. You keep putting the negative on the board. Okay, getting rid of it, creating the positive, and pouring fertilizer on it with your energy. Okay. Now the last one here is then spirituality. Now, just to give you a good understanding, spirituality isn't just about meditation. Okay, it's a way of life. Now we're back to psychology again. It's the study of the soul. So the soul, you are a soul on a journey using this vehicle, the body, the mind creates thoughts and emotions, but you are not the thoughts, you create them. You're not the emotions, you create them. Okay? You're not the body, it's just a vehicle for the soul to use, to learn, to develop, to grow, to create wisdom and knowledge and so on. Many, many things. Okay? So spirituality is really a tool. You need the tools for spiritual development, either the hard way, through conditions and life and trials and tribulations, or an accelerated path of that. Now, to give you an understanding, okay, about spiritual truths, is a lot of people understand about the chakras to a degree, okay? So in many teachings they're taught of 7. Some teachings teach 9. In Pranic healing you learn about the 11 chakras. Now they not only have a physical function to us, they also have a emotional and mental and spiritual functions also. Now, so just to give you a very good understanding, where does your willpower come from? Willpower. You've either got it or you haven't. Would you like more of it? Will is the chakra between your eyebrows. The power is found at the base of your spine in what's called the basic chakra. So this is will, this is power at the bottom. Okay? So when these two work together, you have willpower. Okay? In the middle of the ribs, this is called the solar plexus. This is where we form courage. So, would you like courage in your life? More courage. Persistence. If you were more courageous and more persistent in your life, nothing would stop you. You wouldn't procrastinate as much. It also helps to activate the basic, which is your power. Okay? Now, would you like to be more good-hearted? You know, when they say when someone has a big heart, you know, they're very good for other people. They help lots of others. So there's a way of developing your heart center, the heart chakra. When you have a big heart, you will help other people, you will do lots more, it will change your life. We're back to giving and receiving. Do you remember in the need? Good karma, okay? More you give, more you receive. If the heart expands, you will do it just naturally, okay? Now, the next one is more intelligence, okay? This is to do with your throat, to do again with this one here, the will, okay? And then higher spiritual understanding or higher intuition, which is the forehead and the crown, higher intuition, okay? Now, so a very good rounded spiritual person is dynamic, which is your basic, dynamic, courageous and persistent, good-hearted, intelligent mind, highly intuitional, How would you like to have that in your life? Okay, everyone is possible, regardless of your past, your conditioning, where you are. Hatha yoga is the highest and one of the most prominent ways to make this happen. But there's many teachings in the Institute of Inner Studies that can help you to develop that super fast. Okay, so under your spiritual aspects, where are you now? Where would you like to be in 1 year from now? Okay, right, let's put that negative up on that board. Okay, maybe you'd like to do more meditation about me time, do things more for yourself. Okay, so negative, where it is, because spiritual is all the needs, every single 9 needs, it's all there, it's all the 10, okay, that's in there, you're spiritual. So what's the negative? Okay, write that down. Where's the positive? Write that down. Okay, let's create it again. The whiteboard, what that negative is, throw it onto the whiteboard, look at it, cut, 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 tap your crown, brilliant light, rub out the negative. Now rub out the whiteboard from the bottom to the top. Open your palms and say, to the Supreme God, please bless me of that positive thought of my spiritual development. Now, so be it. Again, whiteboard, throw the negative onto the whiteboard, look at it, cut, 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 tap your crown, rub out wherever it is on the whiteboard. Now from the bottom up, rub out that whiteboard, open your palms and say to the Supreme God, please bless me that the positive thought of my spiritual development, whatever that is, happens or is created now. So be it. Okay, one more time. Whiteboard. Throw the negative on the whiteboard. Look at it. Cut, cut, cut. Tap your crown. Brilliant light. Rub out the negative off the board. Now from the bottom up, rub the whiteboard completely out. Open your palms and say, to the Supreme God, please bless me that the positive thought of my spiritual development manifests, wherever that is, now. So be it. Okay, so again, you keep doing this every single day. Just keep going and keep going. So under your health, that negative, the main focus, get rid of the weeds, weed your garden, create the positive, give it fertilizer. Same then for your relationships, okay? Remember, give the 3 positives and also throw on the whiteboard all the negatives, create the positives and give it fertilizer again, okay? Fertilizer and asking the Supreme God and saying, now, so be it, okay, remember? Then your finances, same thing again, 3 to 5 every day, put on the whiteboard, get rid of them, create the positive all the time, weed your garden, create the new, okay? And then the last one is your spiritual development, okay? Where you are now, get rid of the negatives, create the positives, and keep going, okay? Now, by doing this process, you will start to train your mind to think positive, okay? Remember, 1 is awareness, but for awareness to happen, you have to do reflection. This is what we've done. You've reflected, you look where you are, you've found your weaknesses or the negatives, whichever you want to look at it, the weeds, okay, and the positive outcomes in 1 year. So now you've got the tools. Now you start to weed the garden every day, create the positives, do it every day. Now why? It's because your mind creates thousands of thoughts every day. So if you only do it once a week, how do you expect to ever weed your garden? They will always keep encompassing, the negatives will overgrow the positives and it won't happen. So you must do these things every single day. Now, other ways of increasing this is, say, to help or to do the Twin Hearts meditation. This is online throughout the world, the Institute of Inner Studies, and the Twin Hearts meditation, there's been research done. It's tremendous what it will give you every day. That also weeds your garden and creates the positives, okay? Ultimately, take the classes of Master Choa Sui's teachings, because if you do this, you transform your life, giving, receive, learn to do healing. You know, learn the financial classes or the prosperity classes. Ultimately, Arhatic Yoga. Once you do Arhatic Yoga, it's like upgrading the hardware, if you like, your mind, your body, so that you can really weed the garden, which is called purification. Lots of purification, tremendous spiritual development. Okay? So hopefully you've enjoyed the lecture. Keep doing it all the time. Get your mind to think positive. Thank you very much for joining me. And a namaste to you all. Safe care to you all. Take care. God's blessings. See you again sometime. Bye-bye.